All right. Good evening, Commissioner. Now, congratulations. That is a fabulous decision. I read it. And, you know, what I think is so great is that it reverses the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. I call it the Ninth Circus myself. And so now the president can continue building the wall. And more importantly, of course, is using the military funds that it had sought to use and obviously made a case for. How many miles of the wall have been built so far?
Well, Judge, I tell you, first of all, it's not only a victory for the president, but it's an absolute victory for this country, for the continued safety and security of every citizen. So right now, we've completed 52 new miles of wall along the southwest border in strategic locations. And by 2020, we're going to have about 205 miles of wall completed. But with this new ruling, and if we're able to get all the DOD funding that's available, we're going to be able to build about 450 new walls. 450 miles of new wall. And right now, Judge, we've been building about a mile of wall every week since May. That's the truth.
Well, that's fantastic with all, obviously, the benefits. Listen, there is, in addition, on the issue of the border, I want to keep talking about that. Apparently, the United States reached an agreement with Guatemala that is apparently helping in addition to what happened with Mexico. But I'll get to that in a minute. Tell me about what happened with Guatemala in the United States.
So, Judge, I'm glad you're asking this question because this is potentially a game changer. And this, again, shows this administration. They have been relentless of working with the government of Guatemala, continuing to bring them to the table to come up with this cooperative agreement. And what this means is that individuals that are fleeing from their countries and they're seeking protection, now, instead of having to go through multiple countries, thousands of miles, and turn themselves over to the cartels and risk their lives and their safety, what this means now is Guatemala has agreed these individuals coming into Guatemala, they're going to do their best to provide them adequate protection immediately. This is an incredible agreement, and it's going to have an incredible impact on everybody. And what this shows is that this crisis is not just a United States crisis. This is a regional crisis. Right. It's not just us, Mexico, but it's also the Northern Triangles and beyond. That's what this agreement shows.
All right, Mark, let's talk about those from Guatemala who may already have crossed the border illegally but have not yet been released into the interior, that may be in detention. So what will happen? Will they be sent back to Guatemala and told to apply for asylum there? What happens to them?
So right now, and this again, the president himself and this administration has been working tirelessly with the government of Mexico. Mexico now has agreed to assist in unprecedented ways. Never in modern history has the government of Mexico stepped up the way that they're doing. They're providing thousands of troops on the southern border. They're increasing their interior enforcement, and they're assisting on the U.S.-Mexico border to include what we call the MPP, the Migrant Protection Protocol. So individuals that you just described, what will happen is they'll present themselves to the U.S. border, and we will send them back to Mexico to wait while they're going through the asylum process. Again, that's another game changer. To date, there are over 24,000 individuals waiting in Mexico that would have been released into the interior United States, but Mexico, again, sees this as a regional issue, and they're being partners.
But, Mark, are you saying that Mexico is stopping them pursuant to the president's threat to impose that 5% tariff every month? What I'm asking about are the ones in detention being sent back to Guatemala or Mexico to claim asylum. Do you know?
Yes, so the IFR that was just approved would have done that. Had they come to the U.S. border, and if they had not claimed asylum in Mexico or another country, then we would have sent them back immediately. But that regulation, that this administration put forth, it was enjoined. And so right now we're prohibited from doing that, but we're going to fight this.
All right, one quick question. Now, you know, I was one of the skeptics, as were so many people, when Mexico in the past has agreed to work with the United States on protecting the border or assisting us. It appears that from what you just said that they are working with us better than we thought.
They absolutely are. Again, it's unprecedented, the amount of support that they're providing. And it's getting stronger and stronger every day. Again, from their southwest border, from their southern border to interior enforcement to the U.S.-Mexico border. And then, like I said, their support of the MPP. 24,000 people, Janine, 24,000 that would have been into the interior United States are now waiting in Mexico as they go through the process. But let me say one last thing. Even all this great stuff that's being accomplished by this administration, it's not the full solution. We still need Congress to step up and do what they need to do to pass meaningful legislation to address loopholes in our legal framework. They've refused to do so, and this country is less safe because of their inaction.
Well, there's no question about it, Mark. I mean, I think everybody agrees with you. Anyway, Mark Morgan, so good to have you on the show tonight, and thanks so much.
You bet.
All right, Mueller, impeachment fever on Capitol Hill, Antifa, and more. I'll be talking about it all with Mike Huckabee, Governor Mike Huckabee, that is, and Dan Bongino.